Hello, everybody. Once again, my name is Greg Weston. I'm coming to you from the Black Community Blackboard page here on YouTube. The purpose of this YouTube channel is so that we can create our own narrative in our own neighborhood. We have too many forces against us. The regular media is always displaying the Black community as being negative or doing nothing but crimes and stuff like that, and we rarely hear about the positive things that are happening in our community. This channel is dedicated to our hidden gems in our community that are doing positive things. And tonight's guest that we have on, I'm real excited. I'm really, really, really excited about are two young Black males who have started their own clothing line and everything like that. And I'm excited to get with that. But as I say, let me finish the backdrop. If you want to support this channel, there will be information that you can do that at the end of the interview. We'll have that in the chat and everything. And also, if you know anybody in the community that are doing positive things that you think that should be highlighted, whether they're business owners, whether they're organizers, whether they're just that educator that was always behind the scenes and pushed you out there, and you know that they have a good story, please get in touch with us at Black Community Blackboard at gmail.com so that we can highlight them. Because like I say, it's time for us to dictate what our narrative is instead of people always dictating what the narrative is for the Black community. With that being said, tonight we have JeMichael Blanton and also Jordan and M. Jones. They are the owners and of Expressit Brands. I'm excited to talk to these two because, like I said, I have a friend. I'm going to give him a shout out, Dwayne Chastain, who's a basketball coach over here at Meadowdale, but he's a Colonel White Cougar. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
When he put it out there on social media, is please support one of his former basketball players' business. I say, okay, these are guys that I need to get out here. Some young Black males who have a vision, who are doing things, and we need to support Black businesses, especially our youth. Because, like I was talking to them before we started, I'm looking forward to the energy that the youth bring into the community. And as a person who knows that they are future leaders, I'm looking forward to how they lead, so I can be a follower of what they do, because they're going to be the ones who have to live with the decisions that their generation makes when it's their turn. So, like, I'm excited. If we can, I don't care which one, either one, you can jump in first. Give us a brief description of who you are and of this brand that you guys have started, and let's flow from there. Okay, whichever one of you guys want to jump in first.
All right. So I'll go first. I'm JeMichael Blanton. I'm 25 years old, and I'm born and raised on the west side of Dayton, Ohio. I'm the oldest of 7 kids, raised by a single mother. So I had a nice plate on me, but nothing I can't handle.
Right.
Uh, Graduated from Trotwood Madison High School in 2014. And then I went on and graduated from Miami University in 2019. And from there, I've been working as a enrollment specialist at Clark State. So from there, I started Expressit. I'm the owner, CEO, or founder, if you will, of Expressit. And then I'll let Jordan give his spiel, but he is my best friend. So I look at him as a brother. So we kind of connected, and we doing this thing together. But you go ahead, Jay.
Definitely appreciate it, man. So, like he was saying, I'm Jordan. I went to Thurgood Marshall. I graduated from there in 2014. I think me and Mike did our first 3 years together there, and then he finished up at Trotwood. And then after graduating from Thurgood, I went on to Wilmington College, where I graduated with a business administration degree. I also played 4 years of basketball there as well. And like Mike was saying, we kind of connected when we were younger, and had a little bit of a split, but we're getting back to I guess our roots, I would say.
So I'm hearing that both of you guys graduated from college. Are you both first generation college graduates at your family, or like did your mother or your father graduate, or because these are important questions I think to ask, because a lot of people think you know I don't have anybody in my family to go to college and graduate, so why should I do it? That's why I'm asking. Are both of you guys first generation graduates, or did you have somebody to, you know, follow the lead and everything?
Yeah, I'll take that one first. As far as my parents go, I'm the first one in the household to have a graduate degree.
Okay.
As far as me, I am as well as the first generation. I do want to shed light on the fact that it's probably first generation of traditionally.
Okay.
My uncle did get his associates late, and then he's working on his bachelor's, and as well as my aunt, she got her bachelor's late in her 20s, or I want to say early 30s. But traditionally, I am first generation to go get my bachelor's right.
And you know, for any of our viewers who don't know what a traditional student is somebody who follows the traditional path straight out of high school and getting into college and everything. Because you know, I'm also one of the ones who pursuing a degree. I know where I'm a non-traditional student. I waited till I was late because really in my career I didn't need one. But if I can go to school for free, why wouldn't I? That's what I figured.
No,
Plus we
right.
lead by example. So what made you guys want to start your own brand and everything?
I would say initially I wanted to start a movement. And that's kind of what we're getting to now, is getting everybody to understand it's more of a movement. Expressit was connected to my personal life. And so it allowed me to understand that it's not much about right or wrong answers, but kind of making adjustments and compromising. And I feel that growing up in the West Side and being an athlete, it was a lot of times that you face struggles and adversity and you feel like you weren't heard. And so I was able to, break through. And like you said, I was traditionally right out of high school, but it was a different route, going to JUCO and then, going to a 4-year that was a PWI. But I used that as fuel to get me through and not as a negative reinforcement. And I think that's what I would like people to understand, is that even when doubted or even when things don't go the way you want, use it as fuel to kind of reach those goals. And so that's what led me to starting the movement. And we all come from West Side of Dayton wearing, track suits, clothes everywhere we go, colorful things. Why not attach apparel to that Expressit brand? And between me and you, it hit off the way it was supposed to be, because it was a genuine thing of just starting a movement. We connected clothing to it, and now it's a whole clothing brand and everybody relates. So that's kind of how it started.
Okay.
And it's so much more than the clothing brand as well too, because as he was explaining, we all do enjoy wearing the clothes, but this all started with a t-shirt, and it's kind of just grown from there. So it started, and it kind of showed you how something can start extremely small and just grow exponentially.
So like I'm sitting here reading, what all you guys offer. Your products consist of, t-shirts, jogging suits, crossbody bags, shirts, shorts, socks, hoodies, joggers, mentor, branding workshops. And then you also are doing what you say, this is a mentoring program that you guys run also?
So where we are now, I would say we have a tight hold on delivering the product, getting social content, visuals out there for people to kind of understand where we're at, and where we're trying to go. Where we're trying to get to is get more of a tight hold on that mentoring program, and kind of, I would kind of say, find some funding that could kind of give us that push into giving a direction in that program. So we want to share the experience, give workshops to show people that, that's a skill that you should invest in high school versus just go to college. Because a lot of times not, people are forced to school because it's just something people know or was told. But what you should know is that you need to go to school and actually know what you want to do. And if you're invested in that skill, everybody's not going to be a rapper, but just because he's rapping and not good at it, you don't kind of shut him away. Maybe he's a producer, maybe he can, direct things. And so I think that's kind of more where we were getting at. But the mentoring thing is just trying to share their experience and connect them and relate to somebody who's from the same area as them. And so we don't have a tight hold on it, but in the future, that's where we want to get to.
That's interesting because one of the things I have a lot of irons in the fire. I got a lot on my plate, and one of the things that I have also going is a reentry program that I started. Felons with a Future. Like any funding that I get from this channel that goes, other than to pay my bills, keep this platform going with the Zoom and any other thing. All the money that I do from this, I donate to that. And one of the things that we do with Felons with a Future is that we're taking the initiative to show restored and returning citizens how to become business owners. And one of the things that we do is hook them up with mentors. So, somewhere down the line, I would like for you guys to come and talk to our men and women in the class and talk about your experiences of what you've had to go through to get, your business up and running. And that mentoring part that you're talking about is one of the big things that we find that works. Because, when you're trying to start things, you need people who have been, right where you at. I want to start a business, but I don't know how. Now I have somebody to walk me through it. So I like that idea, that concept that you guys have with that mentoring program. And anything that any information that I have is yours. I'm willing to, what I'm saying, for free. I don't charge none of that stuff. I'm not into the consultation fees. I believe that if we help each other, we're helping our community. So, like with that, talking about, let's stay on the mentoring thing for a minute. Have you thought about going in the direction of doing that as a social enterprise? Or do you even understand what that is? Because see, like with a social enterprise, it can be ran as a for-profit business, but you can still get funding. Like I heard you talk about the funding, like if you were a 501c3 and everything like that.
No, we're not. We're not too.
I'm all ears on that one.
Yeah, that would be new to us.
We'll get together after the program, after we get offline, and I'll help you guys, find out more information and walk you through that. That's one thing I believe in. That's why we're doing this program. It's like, get as much information out to our community to help each other grow. One of the things I detest is like, yeah, I understand some things cost money and everything, but like, I also believe that a lot of things, if we can give to our community free, to help each other grow, we benefit too. Because, like, as long as I get to see you guys grow, I know that, what I'm saying, hey, these are two young Black brothers that we ain't worried about, out here doing some crazy stuff. And that's an investment that, is priceless, So if somebody wanted to get a hold of your products, how would they do? Do you have just are you online, or do you have a brick and mortar store, or do you plan on having a brick and mortar, or let's talk about that a little bit so people know how to get your product.
Jay, you wanna?
Yeah, I can definitely take that one. So as of right now, most of our sales have been online. You can find us at expressitbrands.com. That's all one all together. So it's going to be expressitbrands.com. You can definitely find anything on there at the moment. And then you can also find us on Facebook. I believe it's also under Expressit Brands. You can just go at the very top, you can search Expressit Brands, and you can message us through there at any point to inquire about any type of product that you may want.
Okay.
And just to piggyback off Jay, again, this thing was initially started personally, kind of from me growing up. I would say from my experiences growing up, and everything that I want to do is kind of guide towards empowerment. And so we look to the youth as being a second chance. And I think that we should start to invest in the youth a whole lot more.
I agree.
Is we're at a better place. But with that being said, if you are on Facebook and you just go to JeMichael Blanton. That's my personal Facebook, and a lot of the steam and momentum of the brand and what it's about and what's, you know, a lot of updates are on my personal brand until we can push everything forward to the website and the actual business page. But if you see me or hear anything about Expressit, you can find a lot of information on Facebook at JeMichael Blanton. So just wanted to let that be heard.
You know, I don't usually have advertisers or anything on this channel, but I think, you know, we might have to make a little commercial and put it on our YouTube page just for you guys, man. Because, you know, I mean, I'm excited, you know, like, you know, to see the energy that you guys bring in trying to do it. And one thing I appreciate where you talk about how it started off as a movement, you know. That's what our community needs, is more people with movements, you know. And I'm a firm believer that, like I say, that's why I offer a lot of my services free of charge to help other people, because I believe, like, if we're doing the movement, the money will come, you know, the money will come. But if I had the ideal of that I'm just out trying to, you know what I'm saying, to get the money, my motives might not be right, and then I'll find myself more upset because I'm not getting I'm not getting what I'm saying.
You know,
Right.
yeah. No, I think that me and Jordan have definitely understood the concept of something standing on something.
Mm-hmm.
A trend, a hustle, or a quick fix is there. It's good. But when you're building something with bricks, even when it takes a hit, and we don't really like to say failures, but even when you have your lesson, it's hard to knock that thing down. It's more of a learning point, and then you get even stronger. So when you're building something off of that, and it's experience and pain and passion and you know, growth and learning, it's hard to tear it down. And so movement was really more of the focal point, because it's something that we want to help and be here even when we're gone. You know?
Mm-hmm. And we will continue to push that. It's way more than the apparel itself.
You know,
it's way more.
and you know, so growing up on the west side of Dayton, and you know, like I'm a product of the west side, you know, and everything like that. Like I said, I met Dwayne when we were at Colonel White, you know, and everything. So, you know, I grew up, you know, basically in between Philadelphia and Riverview over that way, and plus I went to school with a lot of people from Dayton View. And like, we were one of the first generations of where crack was put in our neighborhoods and everything like that. So what I'm getting at is, I know that there's a lot of adversities that come in and from our communities, but it seems like you two are on the right path, you know, of doing some things differently than what the narrative is always saying that, you know, is negative. Let's talk about, you know what I'm saying, some of the pitfalls that you guys, you know, seen out there and you were able to avoid, and some of the positive people that were in your life to help you avoid some of those things.
Mike, I'm gonna take this one first because it's so interesting that you asked that. He and I were literally, I'll say maybe less than an hour ago, having this very conversation. We were literally just sitting here and trying to figure out, and not even trying to figure out, but just having a conversation about what we were doing differently than what we saw our peers doing, and the things that we would wake up to and be like, man, that happened overnight, but we're here either studying or talking about basketball, or being completely honest, being around or with our females, or whatever it may be. But it was something that kept us away from that. And I'm gonna just kind of let him pick up from there.
No, yeah, it was, I so when it comes to, again, I'm not really a big believer in right or wrong when it comes to the youth in our lives, and Black, you know, especially being Black males. I'm more so focused on the adjustments of learning and compromising to kind of fulfill what you need to do. And I think when you got to focus on what you're trying to do, you're categorized as being on the right track. So if you focus on what you're trying to do, you are on the right track. So the right track is you just focusing on what it is you need to do. Me and Jordan were focused. There could have been a lot more done. But I mean, you know, with the peer pressure that was around, it was not easy. I would say, again, I was the oldest of 7, and I grew up on the west side of Dayton, off Paul Lawrence Dunbar. So, you know, I seen a lot. I was around a lot. And it was more so of just having that right conscience. I can say I'm not a big go to church every Sunday, but I pray to my God.
Right.
You know, I'm not a big, make the right decision in that right moment, God, but I trust my gut. And, you know, I don't want to harm anyone. And God knows I don't want any harm coming to me. So it was more so of being focused on, let me try to make it to the league and take care of my family versus being out here and being an easy number to a statistic.
Yeah, and that's important, man. You know, like I say, man, I really am excited. You know, with you two guys being, you know, at the age that you are at 25 and 24, and with your heads, you know, in the right direction that you're going. You know, it's a hope shot for our community. You know, I mean, like these are the conversations we need to be having. Because to be honest, when I was your age, I was still out here knuckleheading. You know, I mean, being, you know, my background. A lot of people know is that, you know, I went through my stage. I was in the street. I was in the streets basically up until 10 years ago. You know, but I always had a good. You know, I was in honors classes. I had a good head, but it was just something about that peer pressure you were talking about. You know, plus coming from our environment where I had a choice, you know, at 14 when they flooded our neighborhoods with crack. I could either keep on, you know, struggling with mom, you know, barely able to keep us fed, you know, doing what she could, or make some money. And I chose to go that route. I agree with what you say. There are no failures. Those are nothing but lessons. So that concept that you're talking about, what helped you guys get to that you know, that place where you believe, like, you know what I'm saying, there aren't any failures, it's really lessons, you know, because we, you know, to get to a consciousness like that, we have to go through some things, you know what I'm saying, to wake us up to that. So what was the turning point to have you looking at things like that it was lessons and not failures in life?
Yeah, you want me to let it?
I think I can start that one out, seeing that it was more of lessons. And I don't know, I feel like a lot of that is through just going through life and the ups and downs that you face as a child. So
For it,
go ahead. Go ahead.
it, because I referenced it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It a lot. And for me, it was because, I mean, if you look at it on paper, the odds are against me in my mind, you know, and this little black boy in America.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I don't have a father that's there to tell me I'm learning quick. I'm growing up quick. Excuses aren't really there. And so you constantly trying to figure out how to fix or how to make this right. And so when I gravitated towards basketball, I understood that it wasn't a failure, it was a lesson, because there were times that I didn't play. And then there were times where I was glorified as the best player. There were times where the coach didn't like me. And there were times where I found a coach that really seen value in me. And so basketball ended up being that that lesson that at times, like I said, I wanted to make it to the league, but I didn't. I learned that it was a lesson and not failure, because it taught me how to love, how to lose, how to win, how to be a star player, how to be a role player, how
How to be on a team.
yeah, it was a team environment. It was something that at home you're not getting, because everybody may be trying to go with this common identity in the neighborhood, which is easy to me. And, you know, a lot of people think that's hard. Like, it's hard to react and shoot. It's hard to, let's go catch this cat. It's hard to pull up and do this. Hard to sell drugs. But to me, that was an easy thing to do, because we all do it. And I don't mean we all do it, but it's the majority that do. it's an easy decision to make because you've seen somebody do it. What's actually hard is kind of focusing on that purpose in my mind. And that's kind of where, that lesson is the perspective that I'm coming from.
Okay. Now look, I know for me, even back when I was, like I said, even though I chose to, go to the streets and everything like that, I still had some people that were role models, like types of people, and played a real big part in, the successes that I had in life, because like what people don't get, like just because I chose to go into the streets, it wasn't like it was all like in the movies, everything was just all. But I've had some successes in my life, so the role models and everything are the people that that you looked up to. Who were some of those ones that that you really that you gravitated towards, those role model type of people that helped you say, okay, I see them doing this, and really help develop your focus? If we could talk about that for a little bit, because we all of us need to have somebody that to look up to.
For me, when you correlate who I saw and who made effort to help develop me,
Right.
I don't kind of meet that actual person until I actually get to college.
Okay.
My mom is kind of my father figure, and she's all wrapped in one for me at the time. And my uncle, or uncles, if you will, they're twins. They're my guidance as a father figure, and my grandfather. As far as making my embark on the world, I meet my head coach at Miami Hamilton University, which is a regional campus. I meet him, and his name's Kelvin Moss. And that was a person who I seen that was, a head coach, married man, I don't know, 200 or 20,000 square feet house, stuff that's like, oh, but was from where I'm from and didn't have the father, So, and that was outside of Cincinnati, or he lived in Cincinnati. So that for me, that was the first person that I seen that was outside of the I don't want to say cliche because there's a lot of value, but your celebrities or your activists or historical figures for in the city, or in the state. When I went to college, that's who had to embark on me, and was someone I looked to.
Okay. How about you, Jordan?
Definitely. So for me, it definitely begins with my dad. It definitely starts with my dad for me. I mean, he's definitely molded me into pretty much everything that you all are gonna see. And then I also like where Mike talks about going to school, because as I said, when it comes to my parents, I am the first one with a degree. So from that perspective, that was kind of a journey that I had, not by myself, but it was uncharted territories for the household. So with it being uncharted, it was a different experience, and it was definitely a learning experience. It was being outside of the home. It was living literally on your own from day to day, and having to deal with not those failures, but those lessons that we learned every day while we were there.
That's important for people to hear that. Like because see, like a lot of people don't realize that we all need somebody to help us, push us along the way. And like whether we see it subconsciously or consciously, we always do have somebody we're looking at. Like, okay, I want to model myself to be like, whether it's positive or negative. And that's one of the things that we need to keep on working, like with gentlemen like you guys, to change the narrative. Like, oh, these are young, positive, who's from right where I am. They have the same mindset that I have, but they're using that energy to do this instead of do that. And I believe that's part of the things that we need to focus on and keep working on our community to help the trauma healing, for our community, because we've been through a lot. We're the only community in the whole world who've gone through what we've gone through, and we still are resilient, and we still thriving. If we really look at it, the whole world copies our culture. That's why I believe your brand will blow up, because anything that we come up as a community, as a culture, they want to steal it. So I hope that they see these Expressit brand T-shirts, and I like the jackets you got on and everything, and they want to steal it so that they will start buying it from you guys. You know what I'm saying? Um, are you guys planning to just do most of your business online, or do you, or is somewhere in your goal to have a brick and mortar store one day?
Definitely want to have a store. Definitely want to learn to invest more in real estate and get a few properties of having some not your ideal stores. Of course, apparel will be there, but want to kind of connect again, like you said, we were talking about with the mentor and stuff. Connect something that pulls in that youth of, you know, having them a reason to why to come there and some kind of tie to them expressing themselves. But yes, definitely want to have some type of facility built, and grow this apparel, and, you know, become as big as we can. And, you know, we just really, you know, want to make sure that our dream is scaring us.
I like that. I like that. So, what's on the horizon for you guys?
Um, Up until this point, I can say that we are very appreciative of all the support we've gotten. There's been a lot of momentum built up, and you know, I think on the high rises, you know, for the spring, kind of, we're in the middle of the spring. For this upcoming summer, I think there's a lot of people who now are aware of Expressit. And so it gives us a better approach now of, this is kind of the first time I started. It was in the summer of last year. And so now coming around on my first year, we done been through a lot. We've learned a lot, got a lot of lessons throughout that year. Now it's all about being strategic and hitting it the right way. So on the horizon, I could just say there's going to be improvement in every area, kind of where we've been.
I was definitely going to say it's about time for us to be heard again. We've been seeing a lot. We make posts here and there and everything, but I think it's really time for us to, like he said, it started in the summer, and that's a great time when we can get out and actually talk to people, and people are going to be out, as opposed to right now it's kind of bundled up and real cold. But it's definitely time to be heard again.
So you know, one thing I like about your generation is like this. You guys have learned how to use the social media and everything, and you know, interrupt the for lack of a better term, interrupt the traditional ways of doing things. And you know, you use it a lot for marketing, because you know, until you know your generation and you know came around, you guys changed the way that the music industry works. You know what I'm saying? Because before then, you know, everybody, you had to go shop a deal. Now you can make your online, you know, make it boom, boom, boom. So I like the fact that you guys use social media. What is the biggest marketing strategy that you guys use as far as like getting word out about Expressit brand?
Again, it started personally from me. And I'm all about empowering the next person, and being able to relate to them. And so I think it was more so of me being a real original, a West Side original kid who really came up. Uh, you know, oldest is 7. That's a lot of kids running around with one mom.
Right.
Section 8, food stamps. I know to get it. I know how to make the noodles. I know how to, you know, stack up at the beginning of the month. We might be low by the end. So me being real raw and being authentically from here, when I started expressing and you hear it, it's like, oh, I want to express, you know, I relate to that. A lot of that steam built up. And then again, I'm genuine. I'm a real guy. If you ask anyone, I feel comfortable, you know, expressing it here live. I'm real genuine, and I like to compromise and relate because I was there. I'm sure I was. There was a lot of things I couldn't afford. There was a lot of things that I had to ends meet, and so I would just say me being originally from here and starting something that everybody feels connected to. That's really how it started off and jumped off pretty good.
And as far as that marketing go, I think as far as talking about the social media, that's a big place where it's marketed at, and not even through just saying go get it, but we wear it.
Yes, sir.
We market it through having it on every single day. Anyone that's around us has it on every single day. So I think one of the biggest things is just having it everywhere for you to see. As far as getting high school teams in it, that's one of the huge things right now.
I was gonna
So,
say,
yep,
don't want the fact that there's a big athletic focus on the apparel here. We're not kind of like street fashion, although we don't mind you wearing our tracksuit to the club. We focus more so again on where we relate at, and we play basketball our entire lives. So track suits, hoodies, sweatsuits, leggings, yoga pants for the girls, hats, beanies, things that you wear during the winter. We want to perfect that. We want to make that more polished, more professional. And so that's another thing that jumped off. Everybody where we're from, we all know we play sports.
Yeah, because I'm sitting here looking at your website now and looking at what I'm going to buy. You know what I'm saying? I can't just have you on the show, you know what I'm saying, and promoting you without me supporting you, you know what I'm saying? So I want everybody
appreciate
to
it.
understand, you know, and what they have is really, you know, affordable because, you know, we spend more money on things that, you know, that go out of style. And like I'm looking at their products, man, you know, they're fashionable and but they're also universal where you know, like okay, you can still like I'm looking at the gray and black hoodie set. You know what I'm saying? You can get the whole hookup for $100. That's affordable. We'll go and spend, you know what I'm saying, $300 on an outfit that you know we'll wear 2 times to the club, and then you know what I'm saying, and then we'll talk about all that the black community, those black businesses are busting my head. But I'm looking at everything, and everything's affordable here, and I really appreciate it. You know, so if people don't, you know, like I say, go to expressitbrands.com while we're watching this and find out what you're doing. But see, I'm gonna be
Definitely, definitely. And now that you mentioned being on the website, also we just dropped the Valentine's Day, so
yeah,
those are
seeing
on
that.
there as well. It's a couple different colorways. I believe it's 3 different on there right now. They all should be available, so definitely go check those out.
Yeah,
A lot of our stuff so word of mouth. So the we really want people to understand it it's not an excuse, but it's something that you have to understand with this business. We want to take care of our customers, and it's a lot of work that we put into making sure we deliver the right product. It's the quality of the product that we are selling. And so you can see that how it's printed or how it may be stitched on the garment. But once you get it, you'll be wearing that for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Wash it as much as you need, just like going to those anchor stores and getting Nike or Adidas. And so, like piggybacking off of you, we take that money and that money goes back into Expressit to continue to grow it. And I know you may be a big believer trying to understand how we can get the black dollar to stay in our community.
right.
That's a big thing that want to make it affordable because we don't know where Nike or Gucci or a lot of that money is going.
Oh, we know
So
where it's going. It ain't going. It ain't going to help us. You
well,
know,
we know where it's not going.
yeah, we know where it's not going. You know, we're one of the biggest consumers, but they don't put it back in our community. And if they do, it's not really reaching to where it needs to be. You know, and I appreciate you talking about, you know, keeping the black dollar in our community. And that's an important thing because see, like, it's time for us to change the trend where the black dollar doesn't stay in the black community for less than 2 minutes, you know, by supporting businesses like you guys, you know what I'm saying, and everything like that. This is a better opportunity for us to, you know, even if we just change the trend from 2 minutes for less than 2 minutes to 10 minutes, you know what I'm saying? It's important, you know, because like we're one of the biggest consumers, but yet and still they don't come back and get us. As much as that we consume, ain't no way Dayton should have a food desert on the west side of town. Ain't no
No
way
way.
that we should have a medical desert on the west side of Dayton. You know, with they closing down Good Samaritan Hospital last year, which was crazy. You know, they talk about, you know, this Gym City Market, which I'm happy to see, but if you really look at it, it's not on the deep side of the west side of Dayton. Even the ones that are still in the 45417 area code will have problems getting there. So what, well, you know, I like your narrative where you're talking about trying to keep the black dollar here so that we can do something in our own community. You know what I'm saying? Because um, it's energy like you two brothers. You never know where it might attract where Next thing you know, I'll have you back on the show next year where you know, the energy that you guys bring, that, you know, somebody else might say, hey, I like what you're doing, get in touch. The next thing you know, you guys are branching out and you're having your brick and mortar store opening up where you are selling groceries and teaching, you know what I'm saying? You know, I don't know. We never know. And I mean, it's limitless, but you know, the energy that you guys are bringing is very important that we get this narrative out there, man. You know, I appreciate you guys, man. Like I said, I'm on this website. I'm going, I'm going to text my girl in a minute, tell her to find out which one of these Valentine's Day outfits that she wants. You know what I'm saying? We got to make sure that, you know, we do that. And I like the blackout collection and everything, man. That, you know, so, you know, like, listen, man, this is your guys' interview. If you could talk to other your peers or even, you know what I'm saying, the generation ahead of you or the generation behind you, what would be the one thing that you want them to know that is really important to your generation of how we can heal our community?
We definitely have to be comfortable in our own skin. Don't be afraid to be different. Don't be afraid to stick out in the right way, because sometimes we can stick out and it be in a less positive way. So definitely be yourself. Don't be afraid to stick out and go for it, because that's all we can do at the end of the day. If we don't go for it, we should be sitting here. So go for it.
And I want to be real concise and straightforward. I just don't. You don't want to take constructive criticism in the wrong way. Accept it, move on, and 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 being a bigger person isn't weakness. It's not. I know it may feel like it. I know sometimes walking away or not responding, or, you know, just be the bigger person and know what your purpose is, and be able to take constructive criticism and just try to be the best version of you. That'll help the world, the community, and everything in itself.
You know, and like another thing that, you know, cause see, like I hear a lot of the negative that they talk about your generation. I don't buy into it. That's just me. Cause you know, from, you know, and I guess that's coming from the lessons that I learned from being what, you know, from out off the streets and everything like that. If there was one thing that you could tell our generation that we think that, you know, where we have you misconstrued at and everything, where we don't see things, you know, because like I say, you guys are our future leaders and the community is going to be in your hands eventually. So it's best that we get to understand you guys a little bit better. There's one thing that you could tell our generation that is a misconception to help us understand you a little bit better. What would it be?
I think something for me that's very transparent is that personal relationship is very important. No matter age, no matter if it's student to teacher, coach to player, they're very important. And that there's more than one way to teach. You relatability has to be a thing.
Okay. How about you, Jordan?
And I think mine actually kind of piggybacks on that one. Um, we do want help. We do want to learn.
Okay.
Although it may not come off like that because we are separate generations. So it's a barrier in there just in being so far apart. But we do value the opinion that you guys give us. Even if we have to think about it for like 10 days, we heard you.
And I believe that, and I know that from, you know, the work that I do in the community, because, you know, like I say, to step out and have this channel, you know, this isn't just one of the things I do. I do a lot of stuff in the community. I'm talking about from my background. You know, I give a lot of people hope because I just ran for public office last year. You know, I'm talking about a dude with multiple felonies. You know, known ex-drug dealer. You know what I'm saying? In the recovery community, but still out of the same environment that you guys are. And that's why I believe it's important that we listen to you guys. We do. We need to listen to your ideas in the same way that you just said, Jordan, that, even if we have to think about it, I'm talking to my generation now, even if we have to process it for a few days, we have to be open-minded enough to hear what you're saying, because your voice matters. And as long as that we're giving each other that narrative back and forth, that is part of the healing that the community needs. Because, we're no longer at the point where we need to be pitted against each other. Only way we can grow is if we come together and start understanding each other on a different level. Listen, man, this has been a real fun interview for me, guys. I mean, seriously, I'm looking forward to, like I'm that one dude, when I order my stuff, I'm going to let you know, so that, hopefully you can stitch my name on it, So, and like I say, even though we might have to get together and, you guys running like a little 30-second ad or something about your company, and I'll put it on my YouTube channel, man, because I don't only just have this one. I also had the Road to Freedom, which is geared towards, the nonprofit I just started, where, we're teaching, like I said, we're teaching restored citizens how to become business owners. And I would love to just try to get your information out there as much as possible. On my social media pages and everything, man, because it's important that we support Black businesses. It's important that we support our youth, because you guys, I can't say it enough, are our future. And without you guys, we're going nowhere. And it's also important that I appreciate what you said, Jordan, that you guys are willing to learn. And it's important that, we, our generation, take the time to teach you the right ways and not the wrong ways, because we will do that too, saying, trying to telling you your ideas are wrong. So if there's anything that you guys would like to say before we get out of here, go ahead, man. Pitch your brand again, man. Pitch your brand, all of it, not just the clothing line, but the movement. Let's go.
Oh man, just making sure that everybody understand, we on Instagram at Expressit MGE. We got our website, expressitbrands.com. You can follow me personally on Facebook at JeMichael Blanton. I post a whole lot about Expressit. That's we got hoodies, tracksuits, yoga pants, joggers. We coming out with a whole lot more of advanced tracksuits. The quality is A1. West side of Dayton, entrepreneur. Let's get it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Jordan.
I was gonna say that about sums it up. Definitely go get them Valentines. They're out right now. People been loving them, 3 different colors. Let's go.
Yeah. Again, gentlemen, I'd like to take this time to thank you for coming on the Black Community Blackboard page. I'm going to bring you back on in, a few months, so that we can, check the progress of how you guys are doing, how the movement's going, because I'm not even going to talk about, the brand, because the brand is part of the movement. The movement is more important than the brand, but the brand is going to help move the brand, the movement out there. So I'd like to thank you two gentlemen for coming on here tonight. I like to thank, I'm thankful for seeing Dwayne Chastain. I'm giving him another shot, because I'm having him come on and talk about his, the involvement that he does in the community as a coach, and not only that, also his small business that he owns. Because people need to know that our artists, our artists need to be celebrated in our community too, because art is a very big part of what we do as a culture. And what you guys do, your brand right here, is part of art, whether people want to see it or not. We're your walking easels. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So man, I'd like to thank you two gentlemen, man, for coming on, and we will be staying in touch. And I appreciate the energy that you bring. Like I said, when I order mine, I'm going to put a special request. You can put my name across the chest or whatever. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking forward to being part of your modeling crew, man.
So
Definitely. We appreciate you having us.
Yeah. So with that being said, like I said, we are now looking, because we have a good lineup coming up for the next couple of weeks. We have a lot of people coming up. So we might be going from airing from once a week to two times a week. So if you have anybody that you want to have highlighted, please have them get in touch with us at blackcommunityblackboard@gmail.com, so that we can get these people out here, so we can support our Black businesses, so we can support our Black organizations, so we can just give our mentors and the ones who still behind us as we were going through their roses now, instead of talking about how good of a person they were. I know there's some school teachers. There's that one person, that mentor that helped you out, that you might think needs to be highlighted. Please get with us so that we can do that. You can also support this channel. We will put that in the description, and also all of their information as far as how to get their brand will be in the description. Please go on right now to expressitbrand.com and check it out. The Valentine's Day. I'm partial to that blackout. I keep on looking at it. I'm looking at it. So I'm going to see which one I'm going to order, man. And I appreciate you two gentlemen coming on, man. And with that being said, we'd like to thank you guys. Remember, support your Black businesses, support your Black organizations, support the young Black men and women in your community, and support the older Black men and women in the community. It's about healing. It's about healing our community, and the only ones who want to do it is us. We can't keep on waiting on somebody else to do for us what we can do for ourselves. With that, I say to the community, Hotep, you have a good night, and I'll be seeing you soon. Thank you.